Hey, so it's been a couple of days since I got that motor running and everything. So I've gotten everything else I needed for it. I've got the belt on. I've got the new wheel, the new pulley on it. So it is in working condition. I just got to clean up in the furnace here, clean up all the remains of the junk from the fire, and then put it back in. So that's what I'm going to be working on now. All right, it's all together, and I just have to flick the switch here, and we'll see what happens. So I've taken the time to, seal up all the gaps around the planning box and just make sure the line itself is going well and that the vent is going in. And so I've got everything connected here. The fan is in. It should work. The belt is, tightened. And yeah, so I'm just gonna give it a good old heave ho here and see what happens. So the burner's lit up. That is going good. Got the front plate back on just so we don't have any kickback when it flares up. And we'll see if it kicks in. It should take a minute or two as it warms up the air chamber here, and then the fan should kick on and start blowing. And so I'll be here to observe what's going on, and then we'll check how effective it is. So yeah, this has been one of the more challenging hurdles we've come across with this build so far. Everything was going so smoothly, and then yeah, it was definitely disheartening to come in and see evidence of a fire in there. It's a lot cleaner now than it was last time. Everything is all greased up and should turn well. So yeah, it's just a matter of waiting for it to do it. So anyway, I want to have this working again. Last year we had it just so it was blowing into the front half of the barn, and I had a fan sitting in the hallway here to kind of, push the air through the hallway into the back half where all the animals were. And so this should be better as long as it's not too much, too much air pressure blowing out. Well, it's working, and it's sounding a lot better than the first time I turned it on. We've got air blowing. Not a lot of kickback down there. So, I think it's time we need to go check the vents. Alright, so here I am in the first junction. So the planning box is right down there. And then it comes up here to the T-junction. And I've got a vent here. It's blowing out hot air straight down, exactly what I wanted. So it'll warm up this part. And in the future, that's where we'll extend from for stuff in this room. And now the real tell will be in here with the chickens. So that's where the vent is, right up there. So let's just see if we can get some, if we've got good air pressure here. The first time I tested it out, this is where it was fairly weak. So, why are you not? There we go. Okay. So, I can feel some hot air from even this far away. It's not a huge amount. But yeah, there's definitely warm air coming in. I just gotta move the grate here so I can get right under there. Squeeze in just because, you know, because I've made things inconvenient for myself. But oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely far better air pressure this time. This is feeling exactly like what grate in your house would feel like. So, ha! Oh, that is great. Much better. Because the first time it was coming in, it was very, very weak there. And but now, so we're blowing air straight down in here. Should keep this room, you know, it's already, once I close it up during the day, overnight and everything, when I come in the morning, just due to their body heat and everything, it's nice and hot. So I'm not particularly worried about that. But you know, with the cold air outside right now, I've been delaying opening up the door until it's warmer outside. So I mean, geez, now it's past noon already. So having that, you know, the goats have been a little upset by it, but you know, overall they stay warmer until I let them out. So anyway, that is fantastic. And I'm gonna say that this part of the project is now done. So why don't we just give you a walkthrough over what we've done here and show everything off. So if you'll remember, when we started, we had a barn that looked somewhat like this. It had dirty ceiling. I mean, we'd painted the walls in years previous, but it had dirty ceiling, poor lighting, and the chickens were pretty much loose. You know, they had kind of a fenced in area here, back here towards the door, with some chicken mesh to keep the goats out. But they could get out and come out, and I mean, which is fine. That's what we wanted, because we wanted them running outside. So now we have, in place of that, we've got the rooster coop with their roosts there. So, you know, we've got about 14 in there. They have knocked over their water, so I'll have to fix that. But there's plenty of room for them in there. They stay relatively peaceful. You know, there's been no major fights. I mean, they have some flare-ups and stuff like that, but they've been enjoying it. They're completely blocked off from the girls. They don't have an easy way to see in, as they've got, you know, their 2-foot high wall. Just give you a kind of bird's eye view here amongst all our boys. So the oldest of these guys now are probably, what, 18 months? So guys like Goose here, and Roadrunner, and Penguin. Is that Penguin? Where is Penguin? Yes, yeah. And Maverick, black boy right there. They are all the oldest, so they're all coming up. You know, they will be 2 years old in February, March. Because they were amongst the first chickens that we got at the lake house. Everything else here, all the other boys, and some of them as huge as they are, like, well, Red and Eyebrows there, those guys, those are the guys that we hatched under the brooder plate in a bowl. So those two, and then everybody else was amongst that first hatch that we had. You know, so we've got some really big boys here. And some of them are going to be feeding us at some time soon here. You know, they're especially, well, Marshmallow, you know, because they're all, you know, except for our 4 originals, they're all genetically linked to somebody else in here too. So, you know, just for flock consistency, we've got to make sure that they aren't, you know, we don't want any inbreeding happening. So, as pretty as some of you are, pretty boy, you're no good to go back in there and say hi to your mom. But anyway, so this is, you know, the rooster side. So we did put in, you know, the wooden wall here, just to keep, you know, to keep some of the drafts when we have the doors open from making a big problem. But that made it very dark, so we put in another light fixture here, just for the boys. And then we've got the girls' side. So I still only have, the 6 laying boxes. I'm going to be increasing that, and we may still put them here on this ledge, so the girls aren't teasing the boys as much. And then the main roosts are over there, and we have room to extend them. Long term, I would probably be taking out the metal gates there and extending roosts all the way across. And then we also have room to, move them down the wall if we want to. The last things that I really need to do is getting some doors, some exterior doors for the summer. But again, that's not urgent right now as we're coming into winter. And if we want to let a group out during the day, then that's what we'll do. Just take the food away so the goats aren't, destroying the food, the food bowls, and then it won't be a problem. All right, and then after that, we've got all the work we did with the heating. Until we get the runs done, I think it's pretty much we're going to be done for this year on this project, and I am ecstatic with how it turned out and how it looks in here. Let's just get a look on the walls here. So, and again, we've got the plates along the bottom for deep litter, and we're already starting it. So I'm not taking out anything. I'm just bringing in a couple extra loads of straw to keep up with the output of the chickens. And the sign when you absolutely need to do that is if it starts to smell. Fresh air is important, and we will make sure that any fecal matter and when it dries, the dust and everything is kept down. And the best way to do that is to add carbon. So we bring in straw, and once we source some sawdust, that's what we're going to be trying to do, is wood shavings, and use that as our primary material. And as it goes, as you get more of the nitrogen output, then you'll get more decomposition happening, which we've seen when we've been cleaning up places at the end of winter and everything in here, especially right along the walls there, because it gets piled up there, and that's where the moisture is. And we start to see some soil starting to generate. And last but not least, the biggest success of all of this is the criminals cannot get in and steal the chicken food. Don't give me that innocent face there, Daisy. Yeah, we know. We've seen you. Yeah, as much as they try to get in when I open up the gates, they have yet to actually break in without us leaving a gate undone. So as long as we do our job, they stay out. And so the criminal enterprise is brought to a halt, and that is fantastic. So anyway, thank you for not only spending your time with me on this video, but every video previous as we've been working on this. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and I hope you enjoyed the process. Anyway, down below, tell me, what do you think? What other tweaks and everything can you do? Because again, the process is never complete as we see what we see and what we can possibly do better. So let me know down below. All right, thank you for spending your time with me today, and you have a good one, and we will see you next time.